thank you guys, White Oak and Duck, for coming. First of all, thank you very much for coming to the AMA. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys want to start off, just background, who you guys are, talk a little bit about the projects, for anybody who might not be familiar.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate you having us. We're super excited to be here. This is White Oak Kong, part of the CyberKong community. That's kind of what I call home. Spend most of my day when I'm supposed to be doing some real work in Wall Street Kongs, hanging out and minting random shits. I'm really the project founder. Kind of really went through the ideation phase myself, and then brought Mr. Duck Tickler in here, help me make it a reality. And then we also have two other people on the team, Alpha Hunter and JLH, who I think are in the audience. JLH.
Get them down. Let me get them up here. So I thought it was just you and Duck coming. My apologies.
Yeah, no problem. I don't know if they're planning to speak or not, but they're welcome to if they want to.
Yeah, for sure.
JLH, I just approved you to come up. You have to now accept it.
And I don't know about. I don't know if I see Alpha Hunter. He's over in Thailand, so I think it's about 4 a.m. his time. So he may be sleeping like a baby right now.
Sleeping instead of minting. How dare he?
You can sleep
right
in the bear market, guys.
Exactly. What I showed my girlfriend that Becker tweet from a few weeks back, and she wasn't too happy that I was telling her and everybody else they had to fuck off until NFT crypto bear. But
I'm with you, my girlfriend. Same thing.
Yeah. Duck, JLH, I don't know if you guys want to introduce yourself. I'll let you go.
Yeah, what up? I'm Duck Tickler. So, like White Oak Kong kind of touched on, he was really the brains and the ideation behind this. I was just the lucky guy that he decided to bring in on it. I've been very excited to be building the community. We've been kind of blown away by the response so far. I've been loving seeing everybody real active in the Discord and all that. My role will primarily be as community manager, which has been pretty easy so far because our community has been really amazing. So, just excited to talk a little bit more about the project and get you guys all excited for launch.
Cool. Thank you, Doug. JLH, you're up, my man. Don't be shy.
We don't bite unless you ask us to.
You're muted, sir.
If you want us to bite our my safe word Santa Claus.
Man of mystery.
That's cool. He might have some technical issues. I'll talk a little bit about the project, see if he pops back on. But so our Spectral Skellies are a pretty small collection of 3,333 skeletons. I guess you could call them profile picture avatars. Kind of the lore behind it is we had a sad, lonely necromancer who just really wanted a friend, and so he took himself out to the graveyard, hoping to reincarnate a skeleton, and maybe had been drinking a little too much, wasn't up to speed on all his spell books, and simply could not do it. He passed out right there in the graveyard, but he woke a few hours later and noticed something that wasn't quite right. There was all these skeletons coming to life, and it was actually a pretty big graveyard because 3,333 of them came right back up, and he was stuck there wondering, what the hell do I do with all these skellies? And they came up with the idea that we're going to set up a skelly adoption agency and see who may be interested in taking one in. There is obviously a fee associated with adopting anything, whether it's a kid or a pet. And so he set his at 0.03 ETH. I think it was pretty fair price to make sure people are having good homes for their Skellies.
It's a very fair adoption price.
Yeah, that's where we're at today. So we've adoption center is almost over or almost open, getting into the final stages, and hopefully we get a good push to make sure we find some good homes for these Skellies.
That has got to be one of the more interesting backstories I've heard for an NFT. I'm not going to lie.
I get
JLH, you look like back. Go ahead. Yeah, there you are. Cool. Yeah, if you just want to do a little introduction, just tell us who you are, what you do with the team.
Yeah, White Oak was kind enough to reach out to me. I have a marketing background and do a lot of online business and exposure. Not that kind of exposure. Also, I was going to say earlier, I wish I had a name like Duck Tickler. Should have thought about mine a little bit more. But yeah, so I've brought some the Skellies to a couple of different audiences, and that's my main role, is to kind of get the word out about this awesome project. I've done some hunting with White Oak for the Neo Tokyo project, and we got to know each other quite well, along with another small group, and he decided to reach out to me, and yeah, it's a real honor. It's a super cool project, and very excited to be involved.
Kongs as well as citizens. You guys, you're just lining it up for this project, huh?
Yeah.
the heavies.
Really, really swinging, man. So how long? Oh, go ahead, my pop.
Go ahead, man. You finish your question, and I'll rub from there.
How long have you guys been working on the project, from initial thought to conception of the artwork, the Discord, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so initial thought, kind of even just thinking about a project itself was like early August. And as we started to kind of see some themes in the NFT world and get some different ideas for projects and think about how we could kind of innovate off that and make ours a little different, we really focused in there in the first couple of weeks on the idea of a DAO, and also trying to capture some of the key tools that some of the more successful projects have used in terms of focusing on a utility token and coming up with a really value driven, effective burn mechanism. So we really kind of initially honed in on those three things, and then from there moved to the idea of the Skellies. So, our project is really founded on the technical aspect, and then we just so happened to come up with this, what we think is a really great backstory and some sick art to kind of go along with it. So we officially launched our Twitter and Discord and all that stuff on October 1st, kind of intentionally to make it just about an exact month until Halloween. Given the theme, it seemed like a good time to really focus in on that. Everybody's in the mood, kind of the spooky mood. So yeah, and then we spent a couple weeks, being pretty quiet. Getting a few hundred members, and then from there, we had a couple explosive events where we got 500, 600 members at a time. But generally tried to grow organically. We've done a little bit of paid promotion early on, and we had some plans for maybe more expansive invite competitions and things like that. But I think we've been pretty pleased with the growth that we have had, and really where the members have come from, and who's active in the community and when they're active. It's I don't know how many people are aware of this, but we've got a kind of an inside joke in the Discord. So if you go in there and use the grind command, you'll have a nice surprise for you.
Oh, I didn't even know about this. I gotta try this out.
Yeah.
So before we dive into every other every other questions that are popping up here. Just one more from myself because I'm a selfish bastard. Did you ever have any thought about maybe going with like Sol or trying IMX before you guys committed to ETH?
So, there were some thoughts about IMX, but really it was almost a little late. Not really late, but it would have been a lot more difficult to pivot at that point. And personally, I haven't had the best luck with Sol Project, so I've kind of avoided that blockchain. And really, I mean, ETH is the king. It has its issues, but where the marketplace is right now, the big projects are there, and so we just figured, we'll stick with it, and that'll probably be our best bet for the time being. But certainly, I've talked with people about other projects, and I think JLH will know this too. But we were interested about Immutable X and potentially getting there for something else. So maybe in the future, if we do another launch of something else or a companion project, maybe it'll end up being on one of those platforms. But just have to see how it goes.
You're in the right community for having some issues with Sol. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
Zal, you want to start firing off questions that we've gotten so far? Get the ball rolling.
Alrighty, guys, keep adding your questions. I've got a handful here, so let's try not to repeat ourselves. We'll start off with some of the lighter ones or the easier ones, and we'll head our way down. Give you guys some time to get used to the bombardment that comes from our community. So the first one comes from the one who makes and says, "Are the Skellies spooky too?"
Some of them are. I'll say there's some spooky ones in there. If you've seen the Skelly sneak peeks, you may have noticed one or two that look a little spooky. Some of them are kind of fun too. We've got the psychedelic ones. They've all each got, I think, their own vibe. And we've got some other surprises in there too that I think people like once it comes time to reveal the art.
Yeah, we do have the murderous blood splatter Skelly.
Yeah,
that's kind of spooky in its own way, I suppose.
Sounds cool.
One of the sneak peeks looks rather interesting in the fact that I don't think that skeletons necessarily have hair.
They could. They could have hair. Some of our skellies have mohawks, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see what that one reveals as.
All right, then questions pertaining mostly to the whitelist. So what day is the mint for whitelisters?
Okay, so kind of heard it here first. Our plan is to do whitelist mint on Thursday, which will be the 21st in U.S. time. The plan is to have it open for as long as possible. So if we can do 24 hours, that'll be great. And then we're going to do a launch party with the pre-sale hosted by DJ Savage. I don't know if anybody here is familiar, but he does all the CyberCon parties. He's done, I think he did the ETH Aliens launch party. So he's going to host a launch party for us. We're going to give away some prizes and, hit up some people that haven't been whitelisted yet, get them ready to go. And, hopefully get some new Skellies at that party. So
that's super cool. I don't think I'm relatively new to this space myself. I don't think I've heard actually of another group so far doing a launch party. So that's a really cool concept. I like that idea a lot.
Same here.
Yeah, so time to be determined on that one. We're still trying to figure out exactly what works. It's so hard. I know a big group of our Discord is in Europe or Asia. We're kind of spread out. So we're going to try to do something that fits everybody as best we can, but also has still kind of a good party atmosphere. Might be hard to do it at like 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we'll try to make it.
Maybe
as
for
flexible as
you,
we
I
can.
will absolutely be ready to rock at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I'll have my glow sticks, my
always down
booty
to party.
shorts.
Yeah, yeah.
Booty shorts? Yeah. Okay.
It's getting
I'll
interesting,
join.
guys.
I'll join you.
Getting interesting.
I'll borrow a pair of my girlfriend. She won't notice that they're stretched 16 times their normal size.
She might not be happy with you afterwards, though.
It's all right. She
Ah.
can just look at how much we're selling JPEGs for. She'll be fine.
You can buy her another 5 pairs. All right. Next question, also more or less towards the whitelist. Will you guys try and avoid the gas wars for the whitelist? For example, leaving it open for 24 hours, or what's your time frame there?
Yeah, so we're going to open it as long as we can. Our plan is to deploy the contract as early as possible, so we can make sure everything's good and working. Actually, we have a function that allows us to send out our gifted Skellies. So people that have won Skellies, we're going to try and do that actually before the mint starts. And then, assuming all goes well, which on the test net, it's been looking good so far. Assuming all goes well, we'll have the contracts open, for at least 12 to 18 hours, but hopefully 24.
Awesome. A lot of concern alleviated there, I'm sure. The next one from J Park, also in that regard, how many transactions or how many Skellies per transaction, how many per mint, or how many per whitelist / for public sale? How many can each of these guys pick up?
Yeah. It's funny because actually, initially I had planned to do I think I said 15 or something like that. Because you never know what a project's going to do. And as somebody that likes to mint and mint large quantities when I can, selfishly I was like, yeah, we'll do 15 per transaction, and that'll be great. But no, unfortunately, we're going to do 3 for the public sales, 3 per transaction, but no limit per wallet. And then for the pre-sale, it's going to be 1 per whitelist.
Okay, so give a bit of equal distribution out there. Then the next question is, what is the reason for such a limited supply? Only 3,333 Skellies. We think it's a good thing, but just curious. And by the way, we love the art.
Awesome,
that's from Vitaly.
Yeah, so I think there's numerous reasons. Coming from the CyberKongs and being a holder in Octoheads and Distopunks and a lot of different collections that have some similarities. One of what I think be pretty key ingredients is the small collection size. We could have done 10,000 and that would have been great. We would have made a ton of money, and I'm sure that'd be great. But particularly when we're using a utility token and focusing on effective tokenomics and burn mechanisms, it becomes difficult when you have such a large supply of tokens coming in. And I think it just works out a lot better with the smaller collection size. And it's easier too to kind of drive value for our holders with the smaller collection size. So it's not impossible with 10,000. You look at Subducks and they're doing pretty well, and obviously they have a great team and really know what the hell they're doing. But it seems like it's been easier to have success with a smaller collection size. So
100%.
that was the main impetus.
White Oak, just to touch on it too, and just clarify, for public sale, there will be 3 per transaction for public sale. For whitelist, anybody whitelisted can mint 1 at the time of the whitelist.
Right, that's correct.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. And then from Arsenal, this is the usual question. I'm sure you guys are ready for this one. Are there super rare Skellies, commons, or is the rarity of Skellies like on a spectrum?
Yeah, so it's definitely on a spectrum. I'll say each, we have kind of different metadata sets, I guess. The kind of base being what we call bone composition. So that's like your Skelly type. and there's a range of rarities in there, and then there's several that are, I guess, would be considered very rare, even 1-to-1. And then the same goes with the different, accessories, whether it be on their neck or their mouth or their head or their eyes. Those are all just on a spectrum. And I'll say too, it's, with them being randomly generated, we had set rarities, but there's not necessarily a guarantee that exact amount is going to show up. So we have kind of a general idea what the rarity is going to be, but it may fluctuate within a kind of a reasonable range.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that. All right, then this is a little bit more lighthearted one. How many Kongs are involved in the project?
So myself and Duck Tickler are both Kong holders, and JLH is a half a Kong holder. He had one, and then it was mistakenly sold, and he's working his way back to get another one.
No,
God,
sir.
Yeah, I don't know. It was one of the worst days of my life. I accidentally fat for 0.7 ETH, and yeah, it got snapped up faster than I've ever seen anything get snapped up before. And so I've been flipping my way back up to one. That was a couple weeks ago now.
Jeez, man. Sorry to hear that.
oh, well,
It's
It's all right. Once you become a millionaire off these skellies, you just buy a couple of them.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe a while for that, but we certainly hope they do well.
yeah, that's the plan.
I'm
It's a
sure
lot
you
of
guys will get there.
utility.
It looks cool. These things look amazing. I'm sure it'll go well.
Yeah.
All right,
Especially with
then.
the utility, man. You guys have a lot of utility lined up for this. I'm very impressed.
Yep, super bullish. All right, then from our resident weapons freak, because he had the same question to the guys yesterday. This comes from Quandog. How many of your skeletons will have swords?
0.
Sorry,
breaking his
Quandog.
heart.
Well,
Breaking his heart.
okay, so I guess it depends on how you've defined sword. There may be a weapon or two in there somewhere.
Okay,
Have
you
to
have
wait
to get
and
lucky. You have to get lucky.
Yeah, we'll see on that one.
Okay. Then we get into the bigger, more deep questions. This one from Thierry Cardinal. What are the core values of the community building and maintenance you focused on for the long-term strength of this project?
So I'll let Duck Tickler answer this too if he has any thoughts, because he's the community manager. But we're really committed to fostering a community of equality and respect, and avoiding a toxic environment. Particularly with the DAO, our feeling is that beyond kind of the initial thoughts, really the community should make all of the decisions on where we go with future, I guess, decisions, right? So we will be proposing things and hope that the community likes it and approves it. And then at a certain point, we will, have a vote on whether the community can submit ideas and proposals to the DAO. So in the end, we really want to make that work, that it is autonomous and they're making the decisions on their own, and we're just there kind of as a guiding force to make it all happen. Actually, this isn't my thing. It's actually the artist. I don't know. Hopefully, everybody's seen our treasure hunt announcement and seen the physical piece that we're getting out with that. But the artist is a friend of mine, and he does mostly skeletons, but does other things too. And he's got a really good message behind his, which are really that skeletons allow us to look past kind of all the bullshit, and really just know that beyond all of it, we're just this white hunk of bone, and we're all the same underneath it. So in our community, skellies are skellies, and doesn't matter who you are or where you're from, we're gonna treat you the same.
That got deep.
Philosophically, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with White Oak. That really is the genesis behind the project, and what we're really hoping to bring to our community, but also to foster within our community, which has been going really well so far. I mean, all of our members are so welcoming to all of the new people that hop in. Anytime someone asks a question, even if it's been asked 50 or 100 times, people are usually very quick to kind of explain to them how they can get whitelisted or all the different contests we have coming up. Things like that. So we've been really, really blown away by how receptive the community has been and inclusive and all of that, which, as White Oak kind of covered, that really is the hope of the project, to really just be a very inclusive and engaging environment. And a lot of our whitelist competitions as well have had a voting element from the community to kind of show our commitment to the DAO focus of the project, to allow people to vote on the emojis that they liked the most or the memes they liked the most. So, we're trying to involve the community as much as possible in the whitelisting process as well, which has been going really well so far.
Yeah, you guys have done a great job of being receptive to your community, and that's honestly one of the reasons why I was so impressed and bullish with it. Like, when we first got in there, it was a couple hundred Discord members. I'm pretty sure you guys are up to a couple thousand at this point, but one of the first whitelist things you got that was planned on happening or was proposed was, all right, we're going to do a mega invite competition like all these other projects have done. And there was some kickback, there was opinions thrown around, maybe a boot or two thrown at some heads, and you guys heard it and moved past it from the input of the community. So that's huge to me. So I love to see that kind of thing, man.
Cool. And I'm glad that you guys also said that you're happy to repeat yourselves when questions are asked, because some of these questions are going to overlap. So I'm just going to read them out. This one from Zeus is long-term.
No, I said the community can overlap. We will not answer the same question. The community will do that.
Okay, guys, that's it. I'm going to cut out these questions then. Okay, quickly, this one from Zeus. Long-term plan for the Skellies. I think you guys will give us a bit of idea. Future utility plans, and also what made you decide on the low supply. I think you touched on the low supply, so maybe just give us some clarity on the future utility plans.
Yeah, so the big ones that we put in our initial proposal, because that's again what they are. It's a proposal. We get 3,333 minters that decide this is a shit plan, then we won't do it. But our plan is to release an ERC20 utility token that allows us to build some functionality within the ecosystem of the Skellies, and then from that start up a companion collection, the Skellicats, which we posted a couple pictures, I think. And
those questions are still coming. Don't worry.
Okay, good. And then from there, we have kind of a list to go through. Some of it is just basic governance stuff to try to stabilize the ecosystem. So we're gonna, put out some proposals on liquidity pools and things like that to kind of make the Skellies more stable and then the tokens more stable. We have plans to, introduce the idea of potential of VX models for metaverse use once we get the sandbox open up, or network, or any of them that the community is interested in. And kind of the sky's the limit from there. I mean, we have other things that we've talked about, charity and community vault we could do, but really we want the community to voice their opinion and kind of not commit to doing anything beyond our initial proposal. So
cool. Then probably the most hard-hitting question that's come so far, this one from Sir Vok. When shirt?
Yeah, we'll get that Skelly Rule Skelly shirt as soon as we can. Probably be after mint. We'll look into it. Maybe do some workshopping on the art there, and and see what we can do. You'll be the first to get one.
Sweet. Okay, then I'm sure you guys heard about that mask bite thing that happened recently. So there are a couple of questions that touched on that. People are a little bit concerned about things that have been happening in the space lately. So if Servok asks again, all the bots in your Discord, are they made by the in-house team, or have you guys got the standard collection of bots?
So we just have the standard collection of bots. So let me look and see exactly what we have so I can run through them. We've got the Me6 custom bot. As kind of our base Skelly bot.
We have Collab Land as well.
Yeah, we've got Collab Land, and we've got. I'm just trying to find the bot list here just to make sure I don't say any that are not here. I know we've got Invite Tracker, and we've got the giveaway bot. I think that might be it.
Yeah, the most concern there is, I don't know if you guys heard about that mask bite thing where someone gave themselves bot access and they did that huge rug/scam website thing that cost the community a fortune. So the guys are a little bit worried about that one, and I'm sure they're happy with the fact that you're using the big names already. So that's
for sure. We haven't put any bots on here except really kind of the biggest ones that we need for basic functionality. And so we've tried to be pretty selective on what we use. So,
okay, cool. Yeah, and then the next one also ties into that. Will you guys consider closing off the Discord before the pre-sale public sale to reduce the risk of hacks and bot attacks that have been happening quite often lately?
Yeah, we haven't really thought about that, but it's something that we can consider if it's a concern.
Yeah, because apparently IMX Space had a similar thing as well, which is
I saw that.
Just a little thing. I'm sure you guys have got your hands on that and you got it all under control, but it's just it's a little bit worrying for some of the guys out in the space.
Yeah, it's crazy that. Well, I mean, I guess it's not surprising, given kind of the Wild West that the blockchain kind of is, and also given the explosive growth and the amount of money that's going into some of these projects. So we'll certainly do everything we can to make sure that everybody is as safe as possible throughout the mint, and we don't have any issues. So
awesome. Thanks, guys. I think you guys have already touched this, but I'll just read out anyway. Are you planning to build a benefits plan for the long-term holders? I think you guys have given that pretty good coverage. Anything you want to add there?
Yeah, I guess we don't have anything specific in terms of things that directly drive people to hold and not sell. There's some projects very recently, like the Groupies, really sick project. I don't know if anybody here is a holder, but I know with their tokenomics that they just recently announced they are actually putting in a feature that allows you to generate more tokens the longer that you hold your groupie. So we haven't necessarily thought about specific plans to do something like that. I guess if the community is interested in that, we can put it in. We can put it in place or look at putting it in place. We still, we have like some basic tokenomics thought out, but in terms of an exact structure, we're not set on anything. Once we launch and get the DAO going, that more specific proposal will be outlined and the actual vote given to the DAO. So I don't know. I guess I'm. This may be a little controversial, but I'm somebody that I sell NFTs all the time. There's certain ones that I won't sell, but generally speaking, I'm going to take profit on everything. So if people buy Skellies and they want to sell them, that's okay. Just means somebody else will hold them and be part of the community, and I think that's healthy and natural for NFTs in general.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so guys, take away from there. If you got any questions or want to make any proposals, head over, get engaged in their chat, engage with the team, make your suggestions, ask your questions, and it seems like they're open to respond to you guys, as long as you adding value and adding constructive points to their project. Okay, and then obviously you've dropped the word DAO, so now there's a bunch of questions that go along with that. How do you plan leading the DAO? Firstly, from Skyway.
Can you say that question again?
How do you plan to leading the DAO? Community, I'm assuming.
Yes. So Duck Tickler is really the leader of the community in terms of the community management aspect. In terms of the actual DAO itself, we're going to start out with us being the only ones that have the ability to make proposals to the DAO. In the long run, we may do something kind of custom set up on our own site, but initially we'll probably use like Snapshot or something like that to actually facilitate the voting. Don't have any plans immediately necessarily to introduce utility token voting or introduce voting for Skellicats when we get there. It's initially just going to be the Skellies, the Genesis collection, and
okay, I think you cut off there right at the end, but I think we got the gist of that one. Thanks for that.
how to really make the decision.
Yeah, so you cut out there for about 10 seconds.
Oh, sorry, I was getting a phone call, so I wasn't sure if it affected or not. But
He was being skellified.
yeah, right. But I was saying initially, it seemed to be the Genesis collection that really has the impact on the DAO, and we'll see as we go and have holders of other items such as the ERC token, the ERC20 utility token, and the Skellicats. We'll have to set up proposals to see whether or how they're included in the voting mechanism. But hopefully that answered your question.
I think so. If not, the guys can just maybe rephrase or ask that one again. I'll get to it again. So you've mentioned the ERC20, so that covers Silka's question about you guys planning to release a coin to drop to holders. So that one I think is covered. And then from Spicoli, where do you see the DAO heading? Will its goal be the acquisition of other NFTs or coins or all of the above? Or what do you guys intend to do in that department?
I think all of that has been considered and will be considered. I think the community vault aspect that some of these projects are starting is very interesting. The one thing I've always kind of questioned is how exactly it provides value for the token holders. However, if the community is interested, we'll look into doing that and figure out a way to get revenue in there to purchase assets, and then really all the other things that I discussed and more. I mean, I think the benefit of moving forward with a community-based DAO is that we're not limited to our own ideas, and we're not limited to a roadmap that we've already put in place. Yeah, we have a roadmap, and we think it's pretty good for an initial start. But as the community being the space of NFTs innovates, and as we collect more ideas as a team and a community, we're certainly open to implementing any of them that would provide value to our token holders.
Well, with a community vault, you could buy a Kong, and I could tell my family at Thanksgiving that I'm a 3,333rd owner of a CyberKong. So,
yeah, I guess we could do that. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Gran would be impressed.
My family might start getting it then too.
Yeah, right. They'd probably wonder why you were part of something that spent $500,000 on a JPEG. But
oh no, they already wanted to send me to see a shrink after I told them about the Neo Tokyo thing.
So there's this really ruthless guy on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
And he's taken up 3 weeks of my life, and I haven't slept at all, and I think it's going well.
All right, before we start getting Neo Tokyo PTSD.
Yeah, let's not go there. All right, guys. Then just you mentioned the kitties. What will the max supply be of them?
I think that's to be determined. I would estimate that the size would be somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000. Let's see, though.
Okay, to be determined, guys. And then what will the kitties be used for? What will the collection be used for? Will the holders be added to the DAO, or do you have any utility specifically planned for those?
Yeah, that's another to be determined. We have some ideas on how exactly we think the Skellicats are going to function in the community. We're going to choose to hold those kind of close to the vest for now, but again, ultimately, it's stuff like whether they're going to be included in the DAO or not is really up to the holders of the Genesis collection. So in order to do that, we would have to vote on it.
Okay.
So
Maybe we could do a collab with.
oh, you cut out there.
I was
Or
going to
maybe
say
I
like,
could.
the cats could take out the mice babies or something like that. And then
Yeah.
Skelly
Yeah.
Cat's chasing anonymous.
it
The wars
creates,
begin.
yeah, it creates like little skelly mice babies or something.
That'd be kind of
Well,
cool.
they've already got the crypto hoots to worry about. So, what's one more enemy to take them down?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, White Oak, I see you've already responded with a emoji to that one question about the one of one. Do you guys want to give any hints about that? Is there going to be a one of one
Nice
non-skinny?
fan hammer.
No, I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to see what it is.
Okay, so that's a mystery to be determined when you guys get through. Okay, then a little bit more deeper questions. Terry Cardinal's asking, what are the most important features of successful projects you've gained and implemented from things like the Kongs, and what are things you aim to do better?
I think from like a kind of a high philosophical level, it's really about the community and fostering something that kind of feels like a family. So that's certainly something that we're focused on is making sure that everybody in the Skelly community is really on the same team, working towards the same end goal, and we're going to be respectful of each other and certainly challenge each other's ideas and try to make each other better and hopefully share some alpha and do some things that improve all the Skellies, but first and foremost, make sure that we're a respectful community that works together. And then in terms of, kind of more technical things, I think the low supply is generally pretty important for a successful long-term, value to their holders. It's much easier to have low supply and generate good value. And then if you think about things like the utility tokens, those are well and good, and it seems like every project has them now. But the important piece there that we've seen is really what do you do with them, and how can they be useful to the holders? And there's a lot of options there, and obviously we've chosen one initially that we think is good in terms of burning to generate some Skelly Cats, but a lot of other options too. You can spend them for merch, do different things with the NFTs. Maybe eventually you'll be able to modify your Skelly. Who knows? But yeah, I think those are kind of the important pieces. And if you think about what makes
a big factor is the supply and demand, not just from an economic. You can probably hear my dog there. Sorry about that.
It's so good.
He's getting chased by the Skelly Cat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just having like the right factors for engagement and the community sorry, it keeps cutting out. This push to talk thing I haven't gotten used to. But yeah, the community element is another supply and demand factor. Like all the elements have to be there, and we've done a lot of talking about that. But yeah, ultimately it'll come down to the DAO. But I think the DAO working out has a similar factor, kind of like a company culture. It'll make a big difference in whether or not it works. It's like the culture of the project. And yeah, we're definitely going to be putting a lot into trying to foster a really powerful culture in the community. So we're excited to see how it all rolls out. I think DAOs are incredibly powerful, and people kind of throw them out sometimes with different projects. Like, we got a DAO, but they're, I think that the DAOs are going to be running companies, possibly even religions down the road, all sorts of crazy stuff. And we look to kind of push the limits with this DAO, or really kind of use it as an example to show how powerful it can be in the community.
When you're also talking about scarcity too, with such a low supply, I mean, that in itself kind of helps foster that community element, because if you have 10,000 people screaming "wag me" in a Discord as opposed to 3,000 people that actually don't intimately know each other, but at least know each other on a Discord name basis and can relate to each other, that just helps that much more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. All right. And then from Arsenal, a little bit more general NFT. How long did it take you guys to make and set up the NFT prior to the Discord and the Twitter creation? Do you have any tips for anyone in the audience that may want to make their own NFT someday?
So yeah, the initial kind of ideation and thought process, I think I mentioned, was like early August. So if you think about that until now, what is that, like a couple months? So it certainly wasn't like a super quick project or process, sorry. But also I think once you have an idea of what you want to do, you can kind of execute it fairly quickly. And in terms of tips on people hoping to set up a project in the future, I would say, have an idea of what the value proposition is for your project, and why it's appealing. It doesn't have to be something, spectacular and wild. I mean, it could just be, sick looking art and people buy that every day. Or it can be, something larger, community based. You're looking to really have long-term utility. And, obviously people gravitate towards that. But as long as you have an idea of really what it is you're trying to achieve, I think it makes it a lot easier to push forward with specifics of the project. And then also make sure that kind of throughout the process, you are engaged with other people that are familiar with community building and, the NFT process. And, don't feel like you have to do it all alone, because, there's like, what are the numbers? Like 500,000 people that buy and sell NFTs. So that's not a very large group. We're still a very small community. And there's, hundreds of people out there that would be willing to talk to you about their project and how they came up with certain stuff. And I'm sure the technical design aspects too. So.
Right. I hope that gave you guys some insight, those who want to do their own thing at some point. And it looks like you guys have managed to build a fair amount of FOMO within our little crowd here. So the inevitable questions are coming now. Is the whitelist closed? And ask, how do we get onto the whitelist?
No, honestly, we have a ton of whitelist spots. We could, I guess we could have like given them all out the first night and probably made a lot of people happy doing that. But, we tried to plan it out so that you need to be at least somewhat engaged in the community to get a whitelist. That being said, it's turning out to not be super difficult. I mean, everybody that submitted a meme in our meme contest was whitelisted. And for some of them, it probably didn't take more than 5 minutes to put it together. So we have currently we have voting going on for that meme contest, and also a fan art and a lore competition. Tomorrow kicks off. Tomorrow's Tuesday, right? Tomorrow kicks off our treasure hunt, which if you haven't seen, check out the Twitter. We're giving away a really awesome physical piece of art along with an NFT that goes along with it to whoever figures out our treasure hunt first. Don't expect it to be easy, but also a bit more straightforward than what you might be used to if you've followed Alex Becker at all. I promise we will not be making cryptic tweets at 3:00 in the morning about dog shit or whatever it was that he felt like tweeting.
Well, actually, beware, guys. That very well may just have been a hint what he said there.
You never know, guys. Read
The
everything.
answer is dogshit.codes.
Yeah,
Man, I can't
It'll be
believe...
skelly cat shit, not dog shit. Skelly
Yeah.
Oh, my
cat
apologies.
shit.
My apologies.
I will say I anticipate it to be technically more difficult than the Neo Tokyo riddles. No disrespect to what they did, but once you got there, it wasn't that hard to figure it out. You're gonna have to do a little more work for ours, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody gets it done in a couple hours.
We hired John Nash for this, so.
Oh, I can tell you right now, without being able to see the crowd, that there are a lot of people salivating and bouncing in their chairs at the sound of that. Our community loves proper treasure hunts, so they can't wait to beat it into yours.
If you don't mind if I interject real quick with one question, Zal, which actually was a question proposed by the audience, so not really my question. But being that I am the ARG team lead, and we really, really do love our ARGs here, can we have some from Larry? Can we have some info about the scavenger hunt? Maybe when it'll start?
That was going to be my very next question.
Great minds, Al.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know when it's going to start. I haven't decided what time tomorrow. I'm going to send out that tweet. I will say that there will be a 1 hour notice.
Okay.
So there will be a tweet sent out an hour ahead of time that is very obvious and says the scavenger hunt will start in 1 hour. So it's not going to be like a surprise to anybody unless they're just not paying attention, which probably will happen. But and then I'm not going to give you guys any hints, but I'll say you'll probably need to practice, typical treasure hunt type activities, and also have a fair knowledge of the NFT space. So I think you guys should be well equipped to be pretty successful.
Okay, guys, the CC army is ready and waiting. They'll all be waiting with bated breath, watching your Discord and your Twitter relentlessly from now until then, probably.
Yeah,
I swear.
And I think
CC needs to create a company that breaks codes and stuff and figures things out. I was a part of it the whole time. There's a company in here somewhere.
What's interesting? I was doing some research, building this treasure hunt, and I didn't realize the people that won the Bored Ape contest were professional. I don't know if they were cryptographers or they did treasure hunts professionally, but they were code crackers who bought a Bored Ape specifically to compete in this contest.
Oh wow, that's awesome!
Wow.
So I'm sure that won't happen for this because we're not giving away $100,000 or whatever it was that they were giving away. But
it's going to be worth more than that.
Yeah. if it's for whitelist spots, the guys are eager enough. They don't need money. They just want NFTs and JPEGs.
Yeah. So, no, I'm definitely excited for that one. So in addition to that grand prize, we are giving away, second through 25th place, I think is what I put on there. We'll get something else. and then everybody that completes it, at least up to the top 100, will get whitelisted. We'll kind of see how it goes. But yeah.
Okay, so that solves the next question, which was roughly how many whitelist spots will be available from the treasure hunt. You guys heard that? That's 100 roughly. And then, one last question. I think you guys may have mentioned it, but can they get an idea of what the total whitelist size is? I know you said that you've got 3,333. How much of that are you planning to whitelist?
So we said at a minimum we're going to do 1,500 whitelist spots. We are willing to do up to 50% of the total supply, but it kind of depends on kind of when we look at the numbers when we get closer to launch and see how many people are whitelisted and what we have left. So it'll be at least 1,500. It could be a little more than that, but to be determined.
And that's outlined on our Discord as well, because we wanted the community to be aware of kind of everything going on. So you can see in our Discord, there's a whitelisting strategy that lays out kind of how many whitelist spots we're looking at giving away at certain events and things like that.
Okay, awesome, guys. So go and check out the Discord, spend a bit more time there, find out any answers that you may not have got completely from here. And then the final question that I have at the moment, unless anyone adds something more to the list, is the meme whitelist contest still open, or have you guys closed that one down already?
So the submission is closed and currently voting. So if you guys have not voted, please go in there and vote so that we can make sure that the deserving winners get their first, second, and third prize, because first place gets a nice non-fungible bones NFT along with the Skelly airdropped. And then second and third also get something too. So make sure you vote for that, and the fan art and the lore. Some pretty amazing stuff, particularly from the lore side. People really kind of went ham on writing some books.
That's amazing. Right, so whitelist meme contest is closed, but as you heard them say, there are a bunch of other ways to get involved and to get whitelisted. So I suggest you guys all go and spend some more time in the community, get engaged. I don't know, is that right? Is the TikTok event already closed? Have you guys selected winners from that one already?
Yeah. So the TikTok too. So we did with Radical Living, who, if you're not familiar with, I think most of you are, but definitely follow his TikTok. Yeah,
he's one of us, and he's got the most amazing bouncy hair that I've ever seen. We talked at length about his volumizer shampoo.
Yeah. My hair didn't look very different about 6 months ago, but I finally chopped it off. So
we'll have to look for those pictures somewhere online.
Yeah. So that is closed. We picked winners. We're waiting to hear back from a couple of the winners to confirm that they've met the requirements. But so we've got the treasure hunt, and then let me pull up the count. I kind of forget exactly what we're doing because it was kind of a whirlwind of events.
Oh, it's not like you're busy, so
yeah. No.
Okay, yeah. So we've got the treasure hunt, and then Wednesday we're actually doing a community AMA. So hopefully it'll be more than just the people that are here, so we don't have to repeat the exact same things over and over. But we're going to do some Skelly trivia with that, and give away some prizes, and also do some whitelist associated with that. And then, as I mentioned before, we're going to have that pre-sale party with DJ Savage, and we're going to make sure there's some whitelist spots there. With our contract, we're able to whitelist people on the spot and get them in there, and they can go mint. So it's going to be kind of a cool live thing if we got some people there that are not whitelisted. So,
out of curiosity for this for the party, are you guys going to do anything in Decentraland Sandbox, anything like that, or is it just going to be live Discord?
I think it's going to be actually DJ Savage streaming it on Twitch, and it'd be really cool to do like Sandbox, but I don't know if we're going to have enough time to really set something proper up. Maybe Halloween we can do that, or sometime later on. That'd be pretty cool. But
that all we got for questions, though?
There's one more that just popped in. I'm not sure that was answered. I'm just going to ask it just in case. So the whitelist, you guys said you're going to give as much time as possible to avoid the gas wars. Will the public sale follow directly on top of that, or will it be slightly delayed? So is it going to be on the 22nd, or?
Yeah, so whitelist is going to be Thursday for the pre-sale. We're going to open it as early as we can. And then the public sale will start Friday. I think initially we said 2:00 Eastern time, but we'll kind of see if we need to adjust that or not. We'll have to. I don't know if we're going to close minting between the pre-sale and the public sale or not. Stay tuned for details on that. We may just leave it open and then open the public sale, kind of at the same time. But maybe not. I'll let you guys know. I'll let you know at least 24 hours in advance of the pre-sale whether we're going to have, a specific time that you have to mint by or not.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys. I think myself and the team and most of our community will be watching with bated breath, watching every post you guys make everywhere. We can't wait to be part of this project. We think it sounds amazing. And we will make sure to send
you guys.
We'll be sure to send as many of our people over to your AMA and ask them different questions as possible.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. We're super happy to do this. Appreciate your questions. They certainly make us better, having to answer some of those. So, and we're excited to have at least some of you as a part of our community, hopefully all of you if we can. We did promise some whitelist spots here, so I'll tell you, somewhere on our Discord, there's a message. It talks about being cryptic. It is not hidden anywhere. It's on one of the channels. So the first 50 people to go respond to that and say crypto rules will get whitelisted. So.
And you just had half the people leave and steal my whitelist spot. Thanks.
So with that, we got to wrap up the AMA. Thanks for coming, guys.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, they found that a little quicker than I thought they were going to. Maybe they were already perusing.
I think a couple of them were waiting bated breath, hoping that you guys would drop something like that. So I'm sure that a bunch of them jumped in there. And then this one final question that came about the whitelist. Have they had to submit the ETH addresses to you guys yet, or is that still coming?
No, not yet. So we're just giving everybody a confirmed future Skelly role, and then here in the next day or so, we're gonna put out. We're gonna make a private channel for those folks and just put out a Google form for them to submit their information, and we'll get it loaded up and ready to go.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. And that's the wrap to the questions. We thank you very much for taking the time. I mean, we've bombarded you with stuff for the last 45 minutes, so thanks again. I think we all really appreciate that. Anything you guys want to add?
I just wanted to say, hey, it's a pleasure. Really is, and I appreciate you guys very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming. It's sincerely appreciated. It really is. I'm really looking forward to you guys' project.
Yeah, of course. Thanks again, and good luck tomorrow.